And welcome back to Mike Ferry TV. It is Mike Ferry, the week of September 11th. September, October, November, December. We got to get to work. We got to make things happen. If, as I said a couple weeks ago, if you have not been strong, you have 4 months to be strong. If you've been strong, don't quit. Let's keep it going. So what we're looking at each week is the Mike Ferry sales system. The back half, the side that most people don't get involved in, or technically for all of you that are watching, this is the half that we discuss with our coaching clients more and more. The first half is taught through our seminars, the prospecting, lead, follow-up, etc. The back half, things like customer service, hiring an assistant, working with buyers, are done more with our coaching clients. I'm trying to share with you what we do with our coaching clients so you will become better at working in these areas. So the next step in the Mike Ferry sales system, you're going to love this one, practicing scripts and developing skills. Now, I want you to think for a minute. A seller or buyer is excited to have an agent that has a high level of skills. And they're not depressed if you don't have them, they just don't speak to you again and they buy from somebody else. So it's our skill level that determines the level of success we're going to achieve. High levels of skills, high levels of success. So we're going to look at this whole concept of practicing scripts and developing skills. Let me go through some important points with you. Here's the first point. There are many, many important skills in selling. Two of the most critical skills in selling are asking good questions and then listening carefully to the answers. All of the MFO scripts that we're working with you on are in the form of questions. How much time do you spend practicing how good you are at both of these skills? You should be role-playing and practicing 30 to 45 minutes every day. You take a different script, by owner script, pre-qualifying script, closing script, whatever the script is you need to work on. And you stand in front of a mirror and you practice and role-play and practice and role-play. You want to embed these in your subconscious mind. You're always going to have your scripts in your hand. You're always going to have them handy. You're never going to get lost. But if you don't have them embedded into your mind, you're going to get screwed up. You're going to make mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, they lose confidence and buy from somebody else. I wrote down, if you're going to commit to practice and developing your skills, your practice will revolve around two very important issues. First, the amount of time you're willing to spend daily to embed the scripts and skills into your wonderful brain. How much time are you willing to commit? Okay, did you ever play grade school, high school, or college, any type of sports? Volleyball, swimming, maybe baseball, tennis team? Did you play any sports? Did you have to practice? I already know what your answer is. You practiced all the time. High school and college, you were limited because of education. If you watch the professionals, golf, etc., tennis, football, baseball, basketball, they practice 8, 10, 12 hours a day in between games. Their life is practice. Now, some of you are going to say, you don't know who I am. I'm doing 40 deals a year. I got this thing down. Well, I'll bet you I can name several hundred people that can outperform you only because they outpractice you. The second thought, the level of intensity you're going to bring to your practice, which embeds everything a little faster in your wonderful brain, is the name of the game. Are you practicing with intensity? Okay, let's role play, okay? So when do you plan on moving? I know, everybody likes that question. And how long you live there? No, it's not how long you've lived there. It's how long have you lived at this address. Excuse me. Well, that was cute. It's where did you folks move from? See, you practice with the intensity as if you were actually working with a buyer or a seller. The third thought I wrote down is a quote, okay? And I don't know where it came from, but it's a great quote. Poor practice, no matter how much you do of it, does not improve your performance. You have to get clear on the fact that the quality of the practice determines the quality of your performance. We've been told the story about a wonderful professional singer starring on the Las Vegas Strip, being paid tens of millions of dollars, where she had to leave with her entire troupe and go practice for 12, 18 months to get ready for the next big performance. You look, I read an article about Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, and they had decided to go out on tour. They spent 6 months every day practicing. These guys have been together for 40 or 50 years. I don't think there's any song you couldn't wake them up in their sleep from and they couldn't sing. They spent 6 months practicing, getting into the shape they had to be in to do the performance. I wrote down next, if you believe that having a schedule that includes activities like prospecting and lead follow-up is important to your productivity, wouldn't you believe that practice time is what it takes these two activities to work well? Shouldn't practice be part of your schedule? Of course it should. And if you think about it, what do we give up first? The practice. Well, Mike, how many times do I have to practice a script? Well, how many times do you think a professional golfer hits a wedge? How many times do you think a professional punter in football punts the ball? How many times do you think a receiver in football catches a ball? How many times do you think a tennis player playing professionally serves the ball? They're spending all their life practicing. And the next thing I wrote down, a lot of you have great skills. We know that. A lot of you have great skills which result in a great performance and a great income. We have to remember there's always somebody bigger, better, faster, stronger, smarter who earns more money, which means there's always room for improvement in the production that you have. And that improvement comes from the practice, okay? It's kind of fun because at our Superstar Retreat back in August, we had 4 of our coaches up on the stage and they were role-playing some of the objections and the answers. And they practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And when they were all done, on Saturday I talked to them and they said, we wish we would have practiced more. Okay, you can't over-practice. And then the last thought I wrote down regarding practicing skills, always remember that as the showing process extends over days and weeks, without practice, you're going to lose them every single time. You got to go ahead and understand that you can't spend 3 hours on a listing presentation because then you're winging it. You can't spend 5 days showing property because you're winging it. The practice cuts down on the length of time you play the game with the prospect you're talking to. I'm excited and hoping that all of you understand the value of practice. Non-professional salespeople in real estate do not practice. Professionals practice. So are you an amateur? Are you a professional? One of the two is going to take place. And you're going to be one or the other every time, and that commitment is up to you. Commit to practice, commit to perfection, commit to production and income, which brings you the profits you want. Talk to you next week.